Hello and welcome to Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily evening news show. Tonight we celebrate the L, baby, in the LGBTQ plus with a panel of diverse and prominent lesbians in our community with a special lesbian takeover. We're taking over. It's time to lesbian up the news. It's 8 p.m. Thursday, May 12th, 2022, and we are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we're going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight with Al Ferguson.
Thank you for joining Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ plus evening news show. Whatever happens, you will see it. Queer News Tonight is supported by viewers like you. We are part of the partnership between Happening Out Television Network and Hotspots Magazine. Hotspots is celebrating 36 years of the LGBTQ plus experience. We bring you the best of LGBTQ plus news, entertainment, and support of our community.
Thank you, Miss Josie. How do you have so much swag in that little body? It's like all swag, right? Don't you guys all feel that? What's up, everybody? I am your anchor at Queer News Tonight. I'm FayWhat, and let's welcome anchor Chef Josie. My girl, Chef Josie. She's a Bravo TV top chef and the master of the popular champagne and oyster celebration restaurant, Bubbles and Pearls. Oh my God, have their lamb.
That is your favorite.
It is my favorite. But I also love the kale Caesar. No. I also love the fig stuff. I would like put any of that on a woman and just lick it off.
Anyway, I need before I came.
So yummy. So Bubbles and Pearls is on the famous Wilton Drive, and she's also known by her alter ego, DJ Lady Snack Daddy. Let's welcome to the show, Chef Josie. What's up, mamas?
Hey, everybody, and hello, ladies. Such a great evening to join the lesbian takeover. But I'll tell you guys about some things. We have a lot of lesbian events happening over the next month. We have some new parties that have been activated for us.
Nice.
And, check out Lit and Eagle and Lady Snack Daddy. Just follow me on Instagram and then
you'll know.
Yeah, you'll know, you know. So
when you know, you know.
You'll know, you know. So next, let's welcome Cindy Brown. And Cindy Brown, oh my God, she is an icon in the LGBTQ plus community. She was an early organizer of Miami AIDS Walk, the White Party for Care Resource, and other major events. She has served as the executive director of Miami-Dade Gay and Lesbian Chamber Foundation and LGBTQ Visitor Center. She is the founding executive director of Miami Beach Pride and currently serves as the program manager for Jewish Community Services LGBTQ Lambda Living Program for LGBT seniors. Good evening, Cindy.
Cindy busy. Cindy got things going on.
Yes, goals, you know.
Hashtag goals.
I've earned all of these gray hairs.
Yeah.
Hashtag lesbian goals, right there.
You wear them well, my friend.
Thank you. Let's welcome anchor DJ Nena, a homegrown Garden State girl and military veteran who was fascinated with MTV and radio at an early age. DJ Nena's early exposure led her to the entertainment industry. She's been a local DJ and music producer for the LGBT community of South Florida for over 20 years. Good evening, DJ Nena.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much for welcoming me to the Lesbian Takeover event, because this is how we do it. Ladies are in the house.
You've got some stuff going on, right?
And speaking of how I do it, I am the new Friday night DJ for Lit Bar in Wilton Manors. And we are doing a flashback video party. So let's welcome back the 80s all the way through the 2000s.
What's your favorite song from back then, Marisol? DJ Nena. Where? Sorry, I've known her for like 20 years, so I know her from her government name. Right? It came out by mistake.
Hola.
Nena.
I gotta tell you, Rob Bass and DJ
Yes,
Easy Right.
Yeah.
That's the anthem. That is the anthem. Yeah. That is the way to party, and that is the way to get to the party started. So See you Friday nights at Lit, 9 p.m. every Friday night. And follow me on IG, DJ Nena 25.
Cindy said she'll go because it's early.
It's 9
so-
p.m.
That's like those memes.
That, but I think it's going to be bomb because Cindy rolls deep.
No.
I love the memes. The party starts at 9.
Right.
You know, let's welcome Caridad Moro Gronlier, the author of and the winner of the TRP Southern Poetry Breakthrough Prize for Florida, published by Texas Review Press in the spring of 2021. She is also the author of Visionware, published by Finishing Line Press as part of its New Women's Voices series. She is a contributing editor for Grabbed, Poets and Writers Respond to Sexual Assault, Empowerment and Healing, Beacon Press 2020, and associate editor for Swim Every Day, an online daily poetry journal. Good evening, Caridad. I can't wait to hang out with you because I'm the writer too. I just got my degree in writing. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Congratulations.
So, yes.
It's great to be here in the lesbian takeover, girls.
I love how DJ Nena introduces you and then brings it back.
Hi. That's a skill. That's a skill.
Listen, I just want you to know that we vibing, we got something in common, and we're going to be buddies.
All right. Well, I'm going to jump on that Lit train because I'm going to be reading from Tortillera on Tuesday at Lit in the wonderful Wilton Manor. So I'm super excited to be here.
Can I tell you how much, first of all, you know that I love you. I met you in the middle of pandemic and you have been such a huge inspiration to me. I love the book Tortillera. Aside from love to scream it, I screamed it in the little towns of Italy. I'll just be screaming, going, Tortillera!
I love it. Representing in Italy. I love it.
But I can't let you go on without mentioning that Taylor Swift posted about your book. What the heck, girl?
Whoa.
What the heck?
I was Swifted. It's Taylor Swift in books. So what they do is they match a book cover with Taylor Swift's outfit, and then it's a whole thing. And girl,
I love it.
How many books have you sold?
I had to check. I had to check because I just found out yesterday actually, and the Pulitzers just came out, and I wasn't on that list, but I was just as excited to be on Taylor Swift's list. Right?
I'm
I'm excited.
Week. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like Oprah's book club, but it's
That's right.
Yes,
I
that
had
is
on this
great.
rainbow dress, just matching my book.
Oh,
cover.
awesome.
You don't even know.
epic.
It was exciting. It was epic. Well, we are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast, and here are the bullet points of queer news for today, Thursday, May 12th.
All right, ladies, we are going to have an amazing show. A lot going on in the world today, and our opinions matter, and right here you're going to hear them. So let's begin by queering up politics. This is something that's been on all our minds. Roe versus Wade fails in Senate, and Biden warns gay marriage is next. The lesbian perspective right here on Queer News Tonight. Yesterday, the U.S. Senate failed to pass the Women's Health Protection Act, the bill that would turn Roe versus Wade into a law instead of just a court precedent. All Democrats, with the exception of Joe Manchin of West Virginia, voted for the bill. President Joe Biden issued a statement reading, quote, "Republicans in Congress, not one of whom voted for this bill, have chosen to stand in the way of Americans' rights to make the most personal decisions about their own bodies, families, and lives. To protect the right to choose, voters need to elect more pro-choice senators this November and return a pro-choice majority to the House. If they do, Congress can pass this bill in January and put it on my desk so I can sign it into law," end quote.
Yeah, well, I can't believe that we're having to fight these fights all over again. And I just hope that the young people of today have been paying attention because I think it's going to get worse before it gets better.
When the hell did we lose control? When did we give the right to people that are not women or don't even identify as women the right to decide what we do with our bodies? What the F
They
is
just
going on?
took it. They just took it.
You know what is so ridiculous about this is the fact that, you know, you continue to hear people going, "Oh, well, I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm not going to wear a mask. Oh, you can't force me to wear a mask. My body, my choice." Oh my God, but it's so like out of left field that when you talk about any choice you have to make about your health and your body, now all of a sudden, oh, no, it's okay. Now, guess what, guys? We're going to take that choice away from you.
Right.
So it's okay. It's like, good for one group and not good for another. The reality of it is that the men who are paying attention to this fight right now and this topic, they need to be running as equally as scared as the women, because this is what's setting precedent in our court system. The moment that they have precedent over our bodies, we're just cannon fodder in this conversation, okay? They think that we're the easy,
we're the lowest hanging fruit. We're the easiest to get right now.
And what's really crazy, is there's so many women who stand with this. You know,
well, because it's a hypocritical issue too. This is disproportionately going to affect low-income women who don't have agency, because those same white senators who are voting to take away the rights of women will put their daughters, their mistresses, on planes to get them to places that will secure an abortion. Let's be clear. This is about bodies, and this is about keeping people in working class situations that they can be exploited. It is not at all about the argument or the baby, because just to continue, they care about the fetus, but once the baby's born, they don't really want to run. They don't want to and just to add a perfect semblance of irony, there's a huge baby formula shortage right now. On the week when they're talking about overturning Roe v. Wade. So
let's have more babies.
Yeah, let's have more babies. They don't care about the babies, they care about control.
They don't. And you know what's crazy, ladies, is that 1 in 4 women have had an abortion. 1 in 4, okay? That's a lot of women. And everybody's got their own reasons why, and at the end of the day, you don't have to freaking qualify as to why you did it.
It's your body.
It's your body. That's
your choice. It's such a personal choice.
Yeah, and it's also the fact that you have to live with your choices. I may not agree with abortion. I may not have an abortion for myself if I were in that, but I don't know, because I never had to be there.
And who am I to tell you what to do with your body?
Exactly.
Who am I?
But this is what I'm saying about the men who are watching this precedent that we're talking about. Next, what are they going to do? Come after you men and start vasectomies? Oh, but why don't we just talk about vasectomies? How about we just do that?
They're reversible after all. They're reversible.
They are reversible. I just see that men are starting to see women having more powerful roles and in leadership. And the
so they
more
want to take us back to
they
the 50s?
Exactly.
That's exactly right.
They want to put these restrictions on women. How many women had abortions because they were in college, they were immature?
Look, Miss Cindy Brown, okay, I'm an open book. I am who I am. My experiences and my past have gotten me to where I'm sitting at right now, all right? So 20 years ago, FayWhat had an abortion. I was not in a right place mentally. I was battling addiction, and I was also in a relationship with someone that was toxic that I did not want to be attached to for the rest of my life, okay? Again, I don't have to freaking qualify. It's my body. I made that decision, and that's something I have to live with. And you don't think that every year on that day, I remember what I did 20 years ago. I don't regret what I did. It was a decision that I had to make. But I also know that if I wasn't allowed to do it, this Puerto Rican Colombian would have found a way to get it done in a back alley, however possible.
And you might not be here now to tell that story.
I might not be here to tell the story today.
Faye, thank you for sharing that, really, because it's so important for people to hear the real stories.
It's so mired in shame that you just gave strength to somebody else to live in their strength.
And it breaks my heart. I have chills right now. It breaks my heart that my stepdaughter might not have this same choice to have, you know?
Yeah, we all just need to open our eyes, pay attention, and like Biden said, let's elect pro-choice.
We need to get out there.
Well,
absolutely.
I mean, guys, and we can speak about it from an academic, intellectual perspective, but the reality of it is unless we actually take this idea and we get out there and vote, this is just talk, okay?
Yeah.
And if what we're seeing is not an example of the agenda that is being, rallied against human beings, okay? I don't even have to, but specifically women. You guys, I have seen more men out there now. When women are attacked or attacked in the media, in the Supreme Court, and we're thinking that they can take the choice of our bodies and control our bodies. Right now in the streets, I'm seeing it in the streets, and that's what my concern is. My concern is that this here will not only just set precedent in our court systems, but what it does, it sends a clear message to men in the world that we're inferior. And that's a problem for me.
Yeah.
That's a real problem. So You know, I've been meditating for a long time, and I thought I like calmed down, you know, and like this has been a decade in the making. But I'm telling you, I'm feeling my activism coming back out again, and it's time to take to the streets, and it's time to
There are
get
rallies
upset
on Saturday.
Yeah,
all over the country. There are rallies.
And we don't have to do this sitting down, and we don't have to do this in a way that we're nice about it. Guys, they're not being nice about it. It's time for the gloves to come off. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, now on to more powerful women. Let's queer up lesbian culture. Karine Jean-Pierre makes White House History Friday as Tucker Carlson says Qualification is being a black lesbian.
Oh, Lord.
Tomorrow is White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki's last day at the position. Starting next week, she's being replaced by Karine Jean-Pierre, the first black person, and as an out lesbian, the first openly LGBTQ plus person to hold the position. Despite her years of working as part of John Edwards' campaign and 2004 campaign team, then in the Obama White House, and most recently as part of the Biden-Harris campaign, many seem to feel that she is unqualified and was chosen as a token. Watch this.
She's Jen Psaki, or was. Next week, she's headed to MSNBC for a new life as a cable news contributor. Wish her luck, of course. Good luck, Jen Psaki. But in the meantime, you've got to wonder who's going to replace her. Who could replace her? Is anyone qualified? Is there another person in this country as shallow, nasty, and partisan as Jen Psaki is? Well, there is. Her name is Karine Jean-Pierre. Listen to Jen Psaki describe Karine Jean-Pierre.
First, as you all know, she will be the first black woman, the first out LGBTQ plus person to serve in this role.
Well, you heard it from Jen Psaki. She's going to be the first, quote, out LGBTQ plus person to be White House press secretary. And thank God. But before you light a candle and begin tonight's celebrations, a quick question. What does LGBTQ plus mean? Hey, Jen Psaki, let us know if you have a minute. Explain every letter in that acronym and specifically what it signifies. We'll wait. Don't hold your breath. She's not going to do it because, like everybody else who uses that phrase, Jen Psaki literally has no idea, no clue at all what it means. It's one of those terms you're not supposed to define. One day you just start using it, LGBTQ plus, and anyone who asks what it means is immediately presumed to be in the out group. So it's not actually a word. Words are meant to signify meaning and communicate it to other people. No, it's not that at all. It's a litmus test. And you could fail. Oh, you don't know what LGBTQ plus means? Keep an eye on that person. Hates gays. But whatever, don't ask questions. Karine Jean-Pierre is our first out LGBTQ plus White House press secretary, and that's all you need to know. It's a good thing. Shut up and celebrate. That's why she got the job. She's in the right group. And to the Biden administration, which thinks exclusively in terms of groups and never in terms of individuals, because individuals are messy and inconvenient, the group is all that matters.
Oh my God.
Next.
Where do we begin?
Where are the barf bags? I mean, we got to add that to the production
What an
here.
asshole.
Guy.
I can notice you watching the video, Josie, and your hand becoming a fist. Like, what is wrong with this?
We have to keep in mind,
man?
he's been categorized as this not being news, by the way. This is
Well, it
entertainment.
absolutely
Every
is
single
not
thing that
news.
comes out of his mouth
Right.
is a blatant lie.
When
I can't
Putin
stand
starts
this
telling
guy.
you to watch his shows, you know, then you know something's up, right?
Right.
Well, I would like to say that congratulations.
Absolutely.
And fuck Tucker Carlson. Did
Yeah.
I say that?
Yes,
on
you
air?
totally cursed on my show. Jeez, Cindy, you know, out of all of us, I really didn't expect that was going to be you to do that.
I kind of thought that would have been me.
Right? Now, ladies, I mean, am I the only one who thinks that Karine is going to have to work 3 times as
Yes.
hard,
Of course she
especially
is.
right now with what you said, Josie, about women, you know, in the limelight looking inferior or having to act inferior in certain places and certain roles.
Yeah, and listen, on top of that, having newscasters or whatever he is, I don't even know, an
He's
anchor
a
for television.
humorist.
But with people like that in leaders in government and leaders, you know, these folks making those kind of comments, because I'm sure if Tucker's saying that, watch this, this is going to be a new little tagline for the Republicans,
Correct.
the GOP, and whoever else is the QAnons and all of them, okay? And we're going to start hearing that. And I just know that, again, like our new justice, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, just like Ketanji, okay? You know, I think that Karine is going to be fine, because what she had to do to get there is nothing. Tucker Carlson doesn't even hold wind.
Well, I'm with you, Josie, but you know how many people listen to that fool?
Oh, yeah, sure.
A lot of crazy ass
That's
people
the terrifying
that voted
thing.
for Trump listen to that.
The derision with which he speaks of her, it's just dripping off him, and you know that that's being absorbed, and that becomes very scary, and it gets transferred
and it feeds
onto
those people, Gotti.
It feeds
it
them.
Feeds those hate,
and then they take
people.
that hate to schools. That
That's right.
they take it to, you know, the public spaces, and they scatter it everywhere while he's protected. And I just don't know why he hasn't been brought up for hate speech, honestly, because
They tried.
He is really fomenting a really ugly response, and it's fearful, and it's ugly, and it's awful.
Well, and, you know, let's remember that hate crimes is actually still against the law.
Right.
And,
Well, but so separation of church and state, and that doesn't seem to stop anybody
you know,
these days.
But since everything is so foggy these days, we don't know what's legal anymore and what's, you know.
We don't even know if we're going or coming anymore. It's just one of those things. I mean, like, Gotti, how is, like, don't say gay passed? You're a teacher. How is the air in school? I mean, I know school's almost over, but
I'm lucky that, you know, working in Miami, we have always had protections before the protections even were widespread. So it hasn't touched me yet, but there are people who are nervous and are scared, and the kids themselves are the ones who are upset and are worried they aren't going to be represented. But, you know, in my classroom, we're very gay. And I, for one, am going to greet everybody and say, I'm so gay to see you on the first day of school, because it's also a synonym for happy. Sorry, take it up with the dictionary.
Yeah,
take it up with the dictionary.
Take it up with the dictionary.
I love
that
it,
too.
Gotti.
I will always lead with, we'll have a gay old time.
I love that.
Yeah, well, so, you know, let's get into something a little lighter, right?
An awful taste in my mouth.
And let's queer up some entertainment.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The Young and the Restless finally is getting its first lesbian wedding. Watch this.
Before you put the ring on your finger, there is something that I have been dying to ask for so long. Bear with me. Tessa Porter, will you marry me? Yes. Yes. Love of my life.
Wow. Okay, so fan favorite couple from The Young and the Restless, Taraya, is finally taking the next step. Characters Mariah Copeland and Tessa Porter are about to celebrate with the show's first ever same-sex wedding. Cameron Grimes, who plays Copeland, came out as bisexual in 2020 and is especially excited about the LGBTQ plus story, saying, quote, "Our relationship has been incredibly supported by the fans so far, and that's what makes this such a joy. We feel like we get to give this gift back to them, and they get to watch our characters just be happy and in love. And it's a huge culmination of their relationship's journey."
I love this.
I got a little teary-eyed during that
And can I
proposal.
say, ladies, that they were hot.
Yes, I was like,
extra
whoa.
hot. I haven't seen like a soap opera in a very long time, and whenever there's a gay representation, it doesn't really feel representation. They're making fun of us, or they're making, you know, kind of deal. But like stereotypical. Yes, thank you, Cindy. For Young and the Restless, it's not like that. Like, they've got a viable storyline. They're pretty. Their actual one is actually LGBTQ. I mean, that's awesome.
I have to shout out all my children that did have Erica Kane's daughter, Bianca, was a lesbian, but it was wrapped in drama, not so much joy.
Of course,
she ended up getting married, so I just have to give a shout out to Erica Kane and Susan.
Poor Erica. No one. Like, she never won the. She never won the award, right? Or she ended up winning one.
She finally did win it. Finally,
well, they probably said after 50 years,
after 50
we better
years,
give this award to her.
But it's nice to see the resurgence, and it's nice, especially for young kids, as we were just talking about. They need to see themselves on the screen in a joyful situation, celebrating a marriage, even if that ring is a little suspect.
I know that ring was like, what the heck is that? Was it a spider?
I know.
And then Cindy
This
goes,
generation.
And then Cindy goes, that's what the young kids are doing. They're giving spider rings.
No, it looked like a swirl. It's like more of an artistic.
No
piece
conflict
as opposed
diamonds.
to-
No
yeah,
conflict
no.
diamonds.
It looked like a vagina when I first looked at it.
It's not like a glow in the dark.
It was a ring in a vagina
There's
form.
something about your eye. Everything looks like a vagina.
Or a boob. I know. Like, if there's any question that I'm a lesbian, for sure, I am for sure. But I remember being a kid, going back to Young and the Restless. I remember being a kid, and there was like some big wedding going on. It was like Luke and Laura.
Luke and Laura.
Yeah, Luke and Laura.
I watched that. I was at UM, and
were you?
everyone would go to the student union
To watch
which
it.
is nothing
sit
like
there.
it's now.
Yeah.
And we would sit in the student union. I would go to the Lakeside Deli, get lunch, and sit in the student union and watch Luke and Laura. That was
Oh my
General
God.
Hospital.
know.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
correct.
I never watched it, but I just remember that the world
Yeah.
stood still when
Yes.
that happened.
Yeah.
And, you know, I would love for this to be the
That was
same
the
for this
80s.
beautiful
Yes.
lesbian couple, because they really deserve it.
Yeah, so we should tell everyone to set your DVRs and so
watch
then
the
they know
wedding.
and watch the
Yeah.
wedding.
Great
Yeah.
idea.
That would be
both
good.
were
Ratings.
Ratings.
Absolutely. You got to give a lot of credit to those writers of all the shows that are coming out now. Everything in the current medium with anything by Shonda Rhimes.
Oh yeah, she's awesome.
The writers are killing it in all angles, in all networks. So kudos to the writers, because that is what I do as well.
Yes.
Go writers.
Kudos to the writers. So now I'm going to transition over, and we're going to queer up the world view. And our headline, if I can get to it, is Pussy Riot leader Mariah V. Alyokhina has escaped Russia. The Russian group Pussy Riot has been making headlines since they were founded. Band leader Mariah V. Alyokhina was first arrested back in 2012 for hooliganism, after staging a protest against Vladimir Putin. She has been arrested several times since, and was recently informed that with government crackdowns, she would be transferred from house arrest to a prison. Her girlfriend had already escaped to Lithuania, and Alyokhina decided to make her move. She left her cell phone behind so she couldn't be tracked, and escaped her friend's apartment dressed as a food delivery worker to avoid police notice. It took her 3 different tries to get across the border into Belarus before she finally crossed and was able to continue on to Lithuania. Way to go, girl, for getting across the border! Oh, way to make it across the border! I'm hoping there was Taco Bell waiting for her on the other side.
I hope so.
probably
I was like,
bravo!
what could happen when you pretend to be an Uber Eats driver, right?
I was just thinking that, like, and it sounds like a movie, this espionage, escaping with the delivery clothes on. It took her 3 tries to get across.
Yeah.
But just think about it, though, for a minute. We have to give her props. Can you imagine how harrowing it was?
I want
to
a
try
movie.
to
Write
try
the
to get
book.
across the border three
Three
times
times.
with
Oh, yeah.
everything that's happening in Russia.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
yeah,
have
totally.
always been hardcore. Their
Yeah.
courage is amazing, and now she's just living what she sings.
Thank goodness. I was like waiting for like the movie plot, and then the girlfriend comes and like breaks her out, and like slaps Putin in the face, and then keeps on running.
No, and listen, Pussy Riot has been pretty much the face of radical queerism.
Yes.
Okay,
In Russia.
and not only in Russia, but all the girls that I used to hang out in New York,
Like the Riot
growing
Girls.
up. Yeah,
True.
the Riot Girls, and so now the Pussy Riot. I mean, listen. Ladies, it's time to embody what this music is about, what the stories were about, why we made, what that whole entire moment in our culture was about. And it's like times like these right now where Pussy Riot stands for what it is we need to do.
Yeah.
We need to Pussy Riot. Exactly right.
Ooh, hashtag we need to Pussy Riot.
That said, it's time to queer up trans rights. Anne Robinson shares a woman is someone with a vagina in an anti-trans view. British television host Anne Robinson has received a lot of backlash after a recent statement about how she defines a woman. In an interview with The Telegraph, she said, a woman is, quote, a woman is someone with a vagina. I am just horrified that we can't have a debate about this. That's what really troubles me. I'm horrified by the lack of safety in women's changing rooms, in swimming pools, and that sort of thing. I think the most interesting statistic is the amount of trans people who actually surgically get altered is minuscule. So you are talking about men and women's changing rooms, end quote. She lost me at men and women's changing rooms.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah,
Come on. Like, what is up with this woman?
I think she has a valid point in that having a discussion, a conversation about it, and especially now we've been talking about the whole show about this kind of erasure of women, the taking away of agency of women.
Right.
I can understand where a conversation could be had around this issue, but she totally invalidates any point she may actually be making when she equates, men in the dressing room or a pool, when we all know it's not about that.
And having surgery is like the least important part of
And that doesn't make
the
you a woman,
process.
Cindy. It doesn't make you a
No,
woman. If you
that-
identify as a woman, you're a woman, period.
Right.
There's a period at the end. You're done. You're a part of us.
Yeah,
You
but
are part of
listen,
the world.
ladies, look, okay, we are fortunate because we're a part of the LGBTQ plus community. So it's already been in our conversation for decades,
Right.
And so we kind of have a grasp of transgender, right?
Right.
But there are people even within our own community that have zero understanding of what transgender is. Now, what we're doing is we're advocating for the transgender rights in our country and around the world, and we're seeing the big push and the big support. But what we're doing is we're still not willing to have those tough conversations because we have to have them. There's going to be the guy on the other side of the table that says, I don't want men in there's going to be a lady, obviously, who says, I don't want to have a man in the dressing room. And until we understand really, you understand the psychology behind transgender, getting to transgender, finally having the transition, doing all those things, like the grade, the scope of it all, right? We have to engage in these tough conversations.
Yeah, we have
to.
them. But look what Tucker Carlson said. He said, okay, well, if you don't know what the acronym means, then nobody wants to tell you what the answer is. And that, to me, is
That's
BS.
ridiculous.
That is
a lie.
complete
all
crap,
you have to
know?
do is, and this woman
Is
too.
Google it.
And no,
I mean-
but that's what I was going to say.
But he doesn't even know. Why are we talking about him?
If you can't find a gay, happy gay person, right? If you can't find someone that is willing to talk to you, there's this thing called Google, and you can type anything
Google.
in it, and it tells you all kinds of
Google.
stuff. From someone that had to relearn how to do a lot of things, I typed in how to wash your clothes, and that told you how to wash your clothes. Okay, so I mean, if you're interested or curious, there's so many outlets that you can go to find out.
I think as a writer, I believe in the power of story.
Yes.
And I think that's what really we are lacking, because I defy two people on opposite ends of any spectrum who have real intentions of communicating, of speaking to one another and sharing their stories and not finding at least a common point of intersection.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we need these conversations, and as Chef Josie said, they are tough conversations. But we do tough things all the time. What's so hard about sitting down and just having a conversation?
I really do think that we're willing to talk. It's just a matter of them coming to the table as well. We have tried to do open forums here at this church, and do you think people have come? No. From our side, yes. From the other side, no. We have invited Republicans to come on the show and tell us why they feel how they feel, and let's try to figure out some kind of common ground, or at least decide to disagree. And we still can't find someone to come.
I don't think they really feel the way they say they feel. They are pandering.
Well, I think, this woman made this statement. Everybody heard it. We're talking about it. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody reached out to her and said, I'm willing to have this conversation. I certainly hope someone did, because if she honestly wants to have a conversation about it, I think having an honest, earnest conversation with someone of trans experience
hopefully she'll get it.
Yeah, I mean, we're all concerned for women's safety.
Well, and it's like Josie said, you know, we live in a bubble. Down here, we live in a bubble. We drive up just a few hours and we are in Trump country. And it's scary for LGBTQ plus if you go a little bit north from here, all right? We live in a bubble. And, you know, I had read somewhere that I think it was something crazy, like maybe like 18% of people in the US knew a trans person. 18%, that's nothing.
It's nothing.
No.
I've never felt safe in a group of straight men.
Right.
I've never felt afraid in a group of trans men or trans women.
Right.
So let's clarify that when she talks about feeling scared in a dressing room or in a pool. Really? Yeah. I've never, ever felt fearful. I have felt fearful walking into a group of men.
I have really close friends that are women having the trans experience. And if they're going through certain meds to make that happen, they can't push a book. You know what I mean? Like they're so, you know, they're so weak going through that. They have to put their body through hell to become women, and they still, to be their true authentic self.
And it's disingenuous. They're throwing that out. It's red herrings. It has nothing to do with that at all.
At the end of the day, conversations equal education. So you have to have the conversations to educate the uneducated.
Exactly.
But you know, you also have to choose the right people who know how to deliver those conversations and do it in a way that, you know, is easily digestible.
And compassionate.
That makes sense.
Because clearly,
exactly.
You know, if you're honestly afraid, well, let me tell you why you really don't need to be afraid.
If somebody your whole life told you this is an orange, and now I'm going to tell you, no, honey, it's a lemon, it's going to be difficult for that person to make that transition, no pun intended, to understand,
exactly.
of course, that it might have been an orange all along.
Yeah, and sometimes people are so concerned about calling people out and putting them in, you know, in a bad place when a simple conversation could have given an epiphany to someone.
Yep.
You want to know something that really brings me down about this whole conversation of transgender? It's because both sides come to the table with a commitment to being right. Yeah. So it doesn't even really matter. They don't come to the table with an active listening mindset. I'm listening to what you say. I'm not discrediting what you're saying. You don't have to prove it to me. There's no validation needed. You're just sharing, like me and me listening to you and empathetically listening to you and really doing my best with a commitment to understand. I think that people, and this is why we're not seeing as much movement and progress around the world and in our own country, because when we sit down to those conversations, with all due respect, you know, again, we are very righteous about this topic, right?
Yeah.
And when you step into a conversation, are we coming from that commitment of being right, or are we actually coming with a commitment to educating each other and understanding each other?
Yeah, I think that, you know, Caridad made a point earlier about, you know, about this very thing. So I think that, you know, we do have a lot of commonalities. You know, as women, we are fearful at certain times, and that is something that is in common, and that could start out a conversation.
I've worked a lot with trans youth and their parents, kind of like moderating, and I found that, you know, most parents love their kids, and as you said, they aren't coming to the table necessarily to be right. They're coming to the table, both sides, not to lose one another. And in those situations, you know,
breakthroughs are made.
Breakthroughs are made.
For sure, but there's a difference
both
there.
sides want the same thing.
But that in that aspect, like Josie's saying, both are coming to the table as in, okay, I've never heard about transgender. Please educate me because I want to still be good with my kid. I love my kid.
And their fears are
the
valid.
Kid is like, this is who I am. I want to educate my parents so he or she is a better parent, you know? So you don't have that when it comes to the Tucker Carlsons and us.
And a moderator, I think, helps a lot too, because being there, I'm able to, you know, I come at it as a mom.
The neutral
zone. The neutral zone. I come at it as their teacher, come at it as an LGBTQ.
Yep.
So I'm able to negotiate that line, and not everybody can do that. So maybe that's what we need to be working on, moderators who can help bring people to the table. I love what you said. without worrying about being right.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really
Yeah.
great.
See, both of you would be good moderators. I'd be like, you are an idiot. Okay? Everything that you thought of.
Not if you
right.
took Carlson to the table. Might get a little ugly.
All right, let's move on.
I would do my
Chef
best.
Josie.
Yeah. Next. So next we report on our partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. We are broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine in supporting that partnership. Happening Out Television Network broadcasts the largest LGBTQ plus religious live broadcast in the world, as more than 30,000 watch every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Watch this.
I'm Glenn Weinzimmer, founder of the Smart Ride, second largest AIDS bicycle ride in the country, and Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church.
Aw, Glenn Weinzimmer, we love you. We finished tonight's queer news headlines with what we call LGBTQ plus flash news.
LGBTQ plus flash news. Surgeon plans to transplant a uterus into a trans woman. New Delhi surgeon Dr. Narendra Kaushik, who runs the Olmec Transgender Surgery Institute, has announced plans to implant a donated uterus into a transgender woman. The goal is to allow the woman to become pregnant via IVF so that she can give birth. The first recorded attempt to implant a uterus into a trans woman was in 1931. Hear that? 1931. But the woman, Lily Elby, passed away from an infection. There have been successful uterine implants in cisgender women, and in 2014, a transplant recipient gave birth to a healthy child. Well, medical science can do anything nowadays. I wouldn't be surprised if this is quite successful.
Gotti?
Oh, this is wonderful. Sorry, I was just thinking about that. The medical advancements.
You're like, I want to see that operation.
I think it's a wonderful advancement for those people who want to be mothers, and I think that's bringing it back to the choice.
Right.
I am all about the sciences. I'm all about getting ahead and innovation, because that's what this country is built on, innovation. We are a country of ideas. So kudos to those guys and gals working on that project. Wishing you much success.
Dr. Narendra, big shout out to you, sir. Incredible what you are doing, and just including the LGBTQ plus community in what you are doing, because you could have totally done this with just someone that was trying to have children, like Caridad said. So kudos to you.
I can hear Tucker Carlson headline this topic in the next coming week. So
do you hear that? That's a head exploded.
LGBTQ plus flash news. Bridgerton star Golda Rosheuvel says lesbian director told her being openly gay would ruin her career. Golda Rosheuvel plays one of the gay community's favorite characters on Bridgerton, Queen Charlotte. She recently revealed in an interview with Variety that when she first started acting, a lesbian director encouraged her to stay in the closet. In the interview, she said, quote, "We were talking about being out and proud and representation and whether I should say I was gay in interviews, and it was an absolute no. You absolutely shouldn't do that. It could or it would ruin your career as an actor. I would rather lose a job than not be true to who I am." Yeah, well,
I'm like, you would. I think that was
yeah, no, well, so that's, yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. Be you, be true to who you are, because you learn it too late in life. But being exactly who you are, authentically who you are, is the only way to be. Trust. Learn that lesson sooner than later.
I am delighted to learn that she is a lesbian. I was watching the show, and I had no idea.
Got from that. She's a lesbian.
Queen Charlotte. No, I mean, I love the show, and I think that, come out. Come out as soon as you can.
Come out wherever you are.
What kills me the most is that the person who told her was not to do this was also a lesbian. So we kind of think they was coming from this place of fear. And she was probably trying to protect her, because I'm sure she was surprised by it. They were talking about being out and being proud. So again, what we've been talking about all day, perspective, right? And where they're coming from, but absolutely be true to who you are, because ain't no way to live a life in a closet.
That's right.
Didn't Shrek say better out than in? I'm all about being out. That's good.
I think Shrek was talking about belly buttons, but that's okay.
Whatever works.
I want to ask her out on a date. That's all that matters.
You know, years ago when I first started my radio career, I was told the same thing. I was told that I had to pretend that I was a straight girl from Jersey, and you know, I molded over. I wanted to be on radio so bad. It was what I had always dreamed of doing, of entertaining and doing this. And I said no. And I said no to a very good paying job. And I kicked myself for a couple of years, but years passed and I knew that I did the right thing by being my true, authentic, loud ass Latina lesbian that I am.
Yes.
LGBTQ plus flash news. Target now sells TomboyX chest binders and packing underwear. Recently on my show, the FayWhat show, you better be watching it Monday mornings, all right? Grab your coffee and watch my show. All right, so we discussed the new Pride collection at Target. Now the brand is showing that the LGBTQ plus isn't just about rainbow capitalism with fashion intended to support the transgender community. This year, the company partnered with queer brand TomboyX to offer chest binders and packing underwear. Both of these garments are commonly used by trans men and non-binary individuals to help alleviate body dysmorphia by reducing apparent chest size, or giving, in the case of the packing underwear, giving the appearance of a penis or a bulge. Garments like this are vital for helping those who are still unsure of their identity or who cannot afford gender-affirming surgeries. I love Target for doing this. And by the way, lesbians use these binders also, okay?
Yes.
So I love me some Target. And put a rainbow on the binder. No problem, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I know a lot of friends who are going to be shopping at Target now.
Yeah, I love this. And TomboyX is such a great company, and I'm glad that they're having the opportunity to be a Target, because they're going to get a lot more exposure.
And I love that it's going mainstream this way. This is how we make incremental inroads in the hate, y'all. Bring it to Target and sell it. Put it in the flyer. I hope it's in the circular.
Oh, I'm definitely on that boat. And, you know, it's actually fantastic because it's clear that we're getting a lot more representation, even in retail. And, you know, we see it sometimes at Old Navy, not all the time, but, you know, it's nice. Target's going to be all year round helping us out. It's good stuff. Now, LGBTQ plus flash news. ABBA's digitally enhanced London concerts are here. ABBA is one of the most known pop groups of all time, and they're still out there performing. Their new concert series will include nightly concerts that are 100 minutes long, happening 7 days a week. With the band members being in their 70s now, it takes digital media magic to make it happen. Each night, the group will be backed by some of the best bands in the industry, but the singers themselves will appear digitally thanks to motion capture special effects. The show starts in just 14 days at the specially built ABBA Arena in London. I am super stoked because I love me some ABBA. Who does not love Dancing Queen? Something 17.
I was thinking, Mamma Mia. That's all I got. Don't they sing that too?
Yes, they do.
Oh, thank God. I was like, damn.
She's like, holy moly.
Chance on me. And you change your mind.
Take a chance on me.
They rock on. They're in their 70s. They're still performing. Good for them.
Good for them to adapting, right? You know what it is to go from the 70s to being digitally enhanced in a concert for 7 nights? That guy got it going on. Talk about adaptability.
Love it.
Love it.
I love 70-year-old rockers, man. It gives me hope.
Right.
Because I'm like thinking I have to slow down. And it's
No, you don't.
terrible.
No, you don't.
Terrible
You gotta
idea.
keep dancing, queen.
Yeah.
Place your hip and keep on going.
I'm laughing. Josie and I are going to be in like our late whatevers, still just like, hey, trying to
Play a little ABBA
sit.
at your gigs, ladies. Play a little
Yeah.
ABBA.
I always play
yeah.
ABBA. There will be ABBA tomorrow night.
Yes.
There's always dancing queens at our parties. so,
Well, always
it would
there's dancing
It would
queens.
go favorite.
Always.
Well, so that is today's news for the LGBTQ plus community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ plus evening news show. Is our community important to you?
Then help us by liking and subscribing, ring the bell for updates, and share this news with your friends and family.
Post this broadcast in the many groups that you are a member of. Tonight's stories about our community deserve the attention of your family and friends.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support.
If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these LGBTQ plus stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Happening Out Television Network and Queer News Tonight. I'm your anchor, FayWhat? And on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Chef Josie, Cindy Brown, DJ Nena, Caridad Moro, we say thank you so much for joining us on the Lesbian Takeover. And you know what? I'm going to take a moment to talk to you gay boys out there. Gay boys, okay? We're constantly saying that LGBTQ plus is being attacked, right? And we post things like, hey, if you love someone LGBTQ plus, then you wouldn't vote for someone that doesn't want them alive. Well, we're gonna tell you gay boys to support us ladies. You've got sisters, you've got your own lesbian somewhere, you've got a cousin, you've got women that you love in your life. Stand up for us because we need you to stand next to us. And we will do the same thing for you boys because we love you guys and we know deep down that you love us too and that you've got our backs. All right, so on behalf of Queer News Tonight, I am FayWhat, and we will see you daily at 8 p.m. Good night.
Good night.